Okay, hello. Welcome to stream. Yes, Dante Basco would be an amazing Dave voice. I hope that you all enjoyed that weird little thing that I found, which I will post links to. Oh, right, I already did that in chat. Talking to Sam for 3 hours about Spirit when he knew nothing. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, me trying to describe the epilogues to my dad did not work. You got them to take the classified quiz. Ah, that's great. Yeah, they barely read it. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, all of my friends from high school are ex-Homestucks. They're the ones who got me into it, and then they all left, and I'm just sitting here by myself. Like, thanks, guys. I think, one of them is rereading Homestuck right now, though, and I'm living for it. Oh, he hosts the Homestuck campaign on Discord. That's so sick. Okay, welcome back to Homestuck Epilogues. Again, sincerest apologies for the lateness. I was out this afternoon, did not even realize the time, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, I'm not gonna be home in time. Yes, today I was at the Toronto Comic Arts Festival, which is a fantastic and free weekend-long event every second weekend of May, I believe it is. And I've been going there every year since 2012, and it's just fun. Lots of different exhibitors, lots of really cool comic artists. They had like Ryan North was there, who you may know from him being friends with Hussey. He also did dinosaur comics, and he's doing Squirrel Girl. He was there. Who else really cool was there? Alex Norris is apparently the name of the guy who does the Oh No comics, where they all end in Oh No. Like, that's so, I fucking love those ones. He was there, didn't get to see him, but he will be there again tomorrow doing, like, signings and stuff. Who else? The author of Dumbing of Age, which is another webcomic I've been meaning to get into. Gabriel Ba, the artist for the Umbrella Academy comics. Didn't get to see him today either, but he's there, and they're selling the newest issue of the. How the fuck do print comics work? Like, I just wait for the fucking anthologies to come out. Like, I'm not gonna pay for flimsy newsprint. I need that durability. But yeah, it is really cool. They get fantastic people every year. Like, they had Casey Green one year, and I got a book signed from my older brother because he really likes Casey Green. But I swear, okay, if Casey Green comes back to TCAF at any point, I am printing out in the worst quality possible as one of the Sweeper and Hella Jeff comics from Paradox Space, and I'm bringing it to TCAF for him to sign. Now, again, this is if he comes back to TCAF. He's been there, I think he's been there more than once. But I digress. Casey Green was there a few years ago. Danielle Corsetto, who does Girls with Slingshots, she was there today. I know last year they had Jeff Jacques from Questionable Content. He didn't return this year, but he was there last year. Yeah, like it's really cool and really fun, and they do like book debuts and like panels and stuff. And for those of I'm Junji Ito, or Junji Ito. I hope I'm pronouncing his first name correctly. Was there. He is a very widely known Japanese horror artist. I'm not familiar with his work because I'm not a horror person, but I definitely know the name. He was there doing cool stuff. It's a really neat, fun thing. I knew at least one person would recognize that name. Yes! Junji Ito was at the Toronto Comic Arts Festival. Yeah, he did a panel. he was doing like some signings and stuff. They had like some of his stuff for sale. Hell yeah, he was one of the like big name special guests this year. It was really fucking exciting. Yeah, it was super cool. So TCAF is like super fun every year, free, and it's free. Like, it's so great. Of course, most notably to myself, and I'm sure all of you at least, was 2012 when Andrew Hussey was at the Toronto Comic Arts Festival. I'm pretty sure I told this story last year as well. But I'm just, every year I think back on that time. 2012, I was like 15, fresh off 15, and Andrew fucking Hussey was at the Toronto Comic Arts Festival. That is the first time I went to the Toronto Comic Arts Festival. I got my copy of the Topetico publishing of Act 2 signed. No. Or what did I get Act 1 signed? I don't remember now. I think it was Act 1. Wait, I can double check this. Yeah, it was Act 1. That was the first time I'd ever done. Oh, that year, the year after was when he came down to Florida. Nice. God, he's a fucking cryptid now. Can't really blame him though. There's a lot going on there. But yeah, I had never gone to any sort of like signing or anything before, so I ended up just being like very nervous, and I did not make good conversation. I'm just kind of like, I was like, hi. He was like, hey, how's it going? I was just like, good. And then I was like, oh, thank you. And then I left. Like, oh, baby 15-year-old me, like, oh my god. Oh, loud party outside. I'm guessing they're playing musical chairs. I had an interesting experience on the bus home from Toronto today. Sitting behind me were 4 people who were fucking blasting Eminem. And at one point they played a couple artists, but other artists, but it was mostly Eminem. And then it was 4 white people, and they were rapping along and like saying the N-word, and I was sitting there like, oh my god. Ooh, that's a big yikes. Let's not do that right now, right here on this public transit, or ever, really. Oh, you dressed up as Miss Payne. That's so cute. Yeah, it was a big yikes. I mean, at least for most of the ride, I was sitting with a friend, because it's like I went to the Comic Arts Festival, and then I went out for coffee with a friend, and then we just totally lost track of time talking. So we were at least, sitting together for most of it, and then after they got off the bus, I moved like very far away from them. And their incredibly loud music and awful garbage. But yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, but I mean, otherwise, Toronto Comic Arts Festival, woohoo! I think it's one of the best like kind of big Toronto events of the year, because it's just fun and like good-hearted, and it's a good time. It gets pretty crowded late in the afternoon, but it's very nice if any of you are in Toronto in May. It's a great thing to check out. Yeah. Anyway. I mean, this has been up on the screen for like the entire time I've been talking, and I'm sure that you are all fully up to date with the announcement for Hive Swap. I'm so fucking excited for this, okay? I am so fucking excited for this. Act 2 is officially back in development. Okay, so we're gonna read the thing, the press release, which they put on their Kickstarter, which, like, y'all, I think we're past the point of using the Kickstarter. Like, news about HiveSwap has been unconnected, like, not connected to the Kickstarter for a very long time. And there's no way for people to buy into that access now. Like, it's done, it's closed, so I don't think that's very fair. But anyway, I mean, it's not like it doesn't end up fucking all over the place anyway. You can't wait to see Tytheus? I know, me neither. I'm so excited to see everyone. Okay. So it's been a while. There are a lot of reasons for our silence, and honestly, it's a whole tangle of stuff that maybe one day we'll get into. But right now, the good news is we are in a stage of development where we can start sharing some things and are committed to talking with you more frequently. Act 2. We know you're eager to find out something, anything, so let's cut to the chase. Yes, Act 2 is in active development. While we don't want to start throwing out release dates until we're a little further along, understandable, we're happy to say that the script, art, and design work is nearly complete and programming is underway. You might gather from the above description that HiveSwap development is a little unusual. Let's just say we learned a lot of lessons during the development of Act 1. For Act 2, we built a staggered development process where the script and design come first, followed by the art. Then our programming team will put it all together while the writing, design, and art teams move on to Act 3! Oh my god! Once we have all the Act 2 content and programming together, we will move into a playtesting and iteration phase before release. This approach has worked much better for us, but the one downside of this approach is that there isn't much gameplay footage to show for most of the development. We can't show you any gameplay yet, but we would like to share a few snippets. So, you almost forgot Anime Lad. Oh, fucking Tagiri. Okay. So this hive, I am hypothesizing that this is Zebedee's hive, because we meet a couple gold bloods, but he's the only one who has that pronounced association with bees and, like, the bees. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is Tagiri's hive. See, now you got Tagiri on my brain. I think this is Zebedee. And then Tyzeus, look at this beautiful fucking animation. Oh my god, I love her so much. He is gonna be a trip to meet Zebedee. This is gonna be interesting. And, like, it's like some of these characters that's like, how the fuck are we going to encounter them? Like Marvis. I'm kinda terrified about when, where, how we're gonna encounter fucking Marvis. Oh yes, and here is Tikiri. Ta-da! This was done by Poinco. Phil Gibson. We will have more to share on Act 2 soon, and we want to share it with you first. For our next update, we'd like to invite you to submit questions about Act 2 via this Google form, and we will aim to answer as many of them in an update. Someone put the link somewhere, somehow. Ludonarracon, which is moving into my next open link. You may have also seen that we will be attending Ludonarracon this weekend, a digital convention for narrative games that is taking place on Steam from May 10th to 13th. We will be exhibiting at the event and streaming on the HiveSwap Steam store page. We do want to let you know in advance that we will not be sharing any further info on Act 2 during the stream beyond what we have posted above. Any new info on Act 2 will be delivered here first when it's ready. That said, we would be thrilled if you can join us for Ludonarracon. The HiveSwap development team will be playing Act 1, chatting about the story, Homestuck as an inspiration, and channeling their inner 90s teenager. The Friendsim team will also be taking part in the stream, and we will be making a demo of Act 1 available for the duration of the convention. The Indie Game Lab fellow traveler is running the convention, and we're really excited to be taking part alongside so many great developers like Inkle and Weather Factory. Thanks again for your patience and support. We're so happy to be talking about Act 2 and can't wait to share more info soon. Yes! All these people will be like, it's a myth, they're never gonna come back to it, blah blah blah. Look, if there's anything I've learned about hanging around Homestuck to borrow Pigeon Pod parlance, the Homestuck cinematic universe, okay, for so fucking long, like over 7 years, it is that things may take a long fucking time, but Andrew Hussey does not break promises. Like, sometimes life gets in the way, shit happens, but if a promise is made, it will come. Okay, let me link this announcement for anyone who wants to peruse on their own. Yeah, so that's that. And here's Ludonericon. So here's, yeah, it's just the Steam page for Act 1, really. Yeah. So as you can see, the live broadcast is right at the top of the page. If we scroll down here, it's already in my Steam library. But if you can see at the top, save 25% off on Hiveswap Act 1 on Steam. And there's also the free demo available, which you also can't see because, you know, I'm logged into my account. But that is all there if you had not heard about that, the goings on there before. And on that note, before we get started, oh shit, that's what I forgot. One more thing before I get started on the other thing. Hiveswap Friendsim is officially available in a bundle of volumes 1 to 18. Bundle info. Let me just, yeah, sure, I was born in 1945. So it won't let me add to cart. Will it at least tell me how fucking much it... It won't even show me how much it costs. Well, y'all can take a look for yourselves. I think it costs, like, a little bit less than, buying them all individually. So, if you are interested in purchasing the Friendsims for yourself and you do not currently own them, check that shit out. And actually, this is perfect. Hello. A perfect segue for what I was planning on saying. It's telling me it'd be $12. Nice. Yeah, that's definitely a savings. So, I have an announcement, and it's more of an announcement of intentions. Oh, it's 25% off too? Sweet. So this is an idea that I had back, like, late last year when the Friendsims were starting to wrap up. And I was like, okay, I don't want to say anything about it until we have some confirmation or, like, a date for Act 2. We don't have a date for Act 2 yet, but I just want to put this out there now. A thing that I am going to try and do to get people excited for when Act 2 comes out. I want to try and marathon stream every volume of the Friendsim and possibly also Hiveswap Act 1. With the Friendsims, I might, for the sake of time, say we only do one ending per, because, I mean, you can tell by looking at my stream archive that those things took fucking a long time, like, generally over 2 hours per volume. But that would be long. But that's the fun challenge. Yeah. So, I mean, even if I was able to keep it to 1 hour per character, that's a 36 fucking hour stream. And if it's just one little old me, that's not entirely plausible. So, yeah. And then, like... All good roots? You wanna help? Ah, that's so sweet. Thank you, Odd. I will keep that in mind for whenever whenever Act 2 actually comes out, whenever I can actually execute this. But yeah, oh, that would be super sweet. I was thinking, rather than all good routes, I was thinking of doing like a poll for which endings to do, because for some of them the bad ending is the really spectacular one, you know, like Nikki or Boulder or Marvis. Yeah, like audience polling. So, you know, to see which ones people are really vibing with. But yeah, that's an idea that I had a while ago, and I was really excited about it, but I decided not to say anything because I didn't even know what the fuck was happening with Act 2. You type into say things. That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of the bad endings tend to be some of the more interesting kind of routes to go down. So, yeah, I was thinking audience polling. Because, like, for example, like, we're looking at our Dada right now. Both of her endings are kind of a roller coaster in their own way. So it's kind of up to preference, right? Whereas, like, Nikki, I think undoubtedly, like, her bad end is, like, chef hand kiss motion. Oh my god, so good. But yeah, I am tossing that out there now. I am putting my hat in the ring for that whenever Act 2 comes out. Yeah, one ending per character, should keep it to 20 minutes to half an hour per character. Some routes are longer than others, of course, but yeah, and then you know, finishing off with a full stream of Act 1. And yeah, I mean, timing and stuff as close to the release of Act 2 would be really cool. But of course, you know, it depends a lot on, like, what's my life load like, you know, like, is it gonna be, like, while I'm in school, while I'm on break, you know, like, maybe it'll be the weekend before instead of, like, the day before or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, streaming Hype Swap Act 1 without trying to, like, click on literally every object and all of that, like, two hours, I think, should about cover that. Maybe 3. But yeah. So, that is that. I just wanted to make that announcement and stuff, and you know, bring that to the table. I mean, I don't know. I had like because there's always the idea of doing like a charity stream, but I don't know how the fuck that works. And also, I don't like there's so many charities out there, and I don't know how to set that up, and I don't know if I'm even big enough to do something like that. Like, is that like a thing that I can do? Like, I don't even qualify for the affiliate program yet. I mean, technically speaking, if there was no follower requirement, then I would qualify for the affiliate program like 8 months ago. Anyway, just a little bitter about that. Mostly an issue of finding a charity to work with. Yeah. Maybe rather than like being like, this is to support this, I'll just be like, hey, go donate to these people, and yeah. I don't know. That's a whole mess of things to look up. Possibly during Hype Swap, hype people would come see. Yeah, like I feel like it would be a really fun thing to marathon right before Hype Swap. Do a little review of the full cast of the Troll Call, and then, you know, go through the plot of Hype Swap Act 1. And speedrunning Act 1 would be a really fun challenge to do, to see if I could get that done quick. Maybe try and like beat a record or something. That's a lot. But yeah, I just think, I mean, the whole point of all these streams is community dialogue and community coming together and like being excited and just having a good time and talking about the thing that we love and like, you know, having good faith conversations about all aspects and just, you know, having a good time. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I'm going to post also after I finish streaming today. I will post this as well on Twitter and maybe announce my intentions on a Discord server or two. Just to see what the feedback is. Outside of my circle of pre-existing wonderful people. That was a really weird way to put that. Do y'all know what I even meant by that? Anyway, I'm gonna stop digging that hole and close this window. And, yeah. Alright, so that was very babbly and rambly. Let's streamline it back to Epilogues Meet Chapter 31. So, it is 12:37, which leaves not a whole lot of time for reading. But, because I started late, I will go overtime. Just a little bit. Okay, a little more water, and then we will start. Okay. Here we go, John and Terzi. I don't know if this is the one where maybe it gets a little nasty for work. So, you know. Watch out for that. I will offer warnings if I see it coming. "31. Terzi is munching away through another tin of human fatherly tobacco as John crawls into the back seat. This has been their ritual for several days. Precisely how many, they couldn't say. Between her frequent naps and his diligence to keep a lookout for any additional survivors, they have been losing track of time. John, eyes unfocused, stares at the expanse of nothingness. Perhaps he imagines it, but it seems as if the emptiness itself is curving against the staggering weight of the black hole they orbit. He hasn't seen any sign of Vriska. He has seen no one at all. It's just him, Terzi, and the sky on all sides. He scoots back to lean against the car door, drawing his knees up to his chest, unsure how to act around Terzi or how much room to give her. She holds out a handful of tobacco. It's all good, Odd. Want some delicious dry candy shavings? That's not candy. And that's also not chewing tobacco. So that would be even more wrong for John to chew on. Adding to the old theory, Kelly wrestled the fic from Dirk and started trying to fix it. Yes, that's right. Your Caliborn versus Dirk fic theory. Ew, no. Do you have any idea what you're eating right now? She shrugs and licks the Wow. She shrugs and licks the crumbs off her hand. His eyes can't help but follow the motion of her tongue. It leaves a trail of faintly teal saliva behind that glistens in the strange light coming through the windows. It's like a poison plant. You're not supposed to eat it. You're supposed to put it in a pipe and smoke it. I think that if I ate it, I'd probably get mouth cancer or something. That's only from excessive use, John. Although I suppose... Actually, I redact that statement. I don't know what the statistics are, but excessive use would probably be the only thing that would exacerbate the likelihood of that. Well, if you were blind and saw with your nose and tongue, It would taste like chocolate. Seriously? So, is that kind of like synesthesia? Are all trolls like that, or just you? I've always wondered. God.
She gives him a narrow-eyed look. Her thick eyelashes shadow her gaze. He feels anxious without knowing why. It's as if he's waiting for something to happen, for something to change.
There's another colorful description of eyelashes. After a recent confirmation that Jen was indeed the one who wrote the vast, vast majority of the transcript, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that Jen is the author who loves describing eyelashes a lot. Why, John? Are you curious about me?
No. I mean,
yes? Your whole licking thing has always been kind of weird. A lot of things about you are weird. I feel like we talked a lot, but I still know almost nothing about you, since so many of our conversations were just... bullshit? Yeah, I guess. I always felt like you were trying to fight me for some reason. Like, I just can't talk to you normally. It always has to be like a jokey argument, or a snark-off, or something. For it to be a snark-off, you'd have to prove... For it to be a snark-off, you'd have to prove a worthy opponent, Egbert. See? Like that. You just always do that.
Teresa's expression changes in a subtle way, slowly, like the tide pulling out. She snaps the tobacco tin shut and sets it down on the floor of the car.
I suppose I can be pretty difficult to be around. Oh, no, I didn't mean... I'm sorry, Terezi.
He unfolds his legs so he can set a comforting hand on her shoulder. He wonders if he's allowing it to linger there longer than it should.
Excuse me, just had to yawn. It's been a long day. Look, I've been really depressed and antisocial for the last few years. So I guess going on this this wild suicide mission out of nowhere has been making me get all philosophical about my relationships and shit. I think I've been out here long enough that I'm starting to forget what certain basic things feel like, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm all numb inside, and this fucking tooth in my chest isn't helping either. I think I just want to have a real conversation with someone. At least sees that and is like, no, that's not allowed. Yeah.
He pushes her shoulder, lightly, so that they're looking at each other.
Terezi, I want to have a real conversation with you.
Terezi makes very close eye and nose contact with John, in a way that comes across as intensely sincere. This arrangement lasts for about 10 seconds before her mouth cracks in a grin and she doubles over laughing.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Oh, come on. Egbert, no matter how old or young you are, you never change. You are positively, truly, and undeniably the biggest fucking dork I have ever known. Haha, okay, I get it. Sorry I said anything, jeez. Oh, no. Oh, don't look like that. I didn't say that was a bad thing. I actually find it... refreshing?
She pulls her legs up under her. Her shoes catch the light and reflect it all over the ceiling in little red dots. John's heart skips a beat.
You're wearing Jade's shoes.
Terezi frowns, and then her eyes widen as if she's been caught. Her reply is defensive.
They were in the wallet. Oh, yeah. I guess I put them in there. I like them. I can take them off if they're creeping you out, if it's creeping you out, though. No, it's fine. It just made me think about...
The doomed timeline, he means. The state of the session he entered when he was confronted with billions of pieces of debris from several shattered planets. He pictures Teresa's lifeless body as it collapses onto a corpse-shaped chalk outline she drew for herself. One of the most badass moments in the comic, might I add. I digress.
You know what happened, right? The first time we all met up and tried to fight the Contis, we were completely unprepared and basically got our asses handed to us. By which I mean, everybody died. I think about it a lot. I guess it's kind of hard not to think about seeing all your friends die horrible deaths. But I also think about you from that timeline a lot too.
Me?
Why is that? Because you were amazing. I couldn't believe how you could hold it all together while you were literally bleeding to death. Almost like it wasn't even bothering you. Like you were actually in the process of dying horribly, and you still went to the bother of dunking on me with your scarf instructions. You were so brave. It was like you were undefeatable that day. Like you were refusing to let us lose. I think I carry that around. I think I carry around that memory whenever I think about you. And maybe why I always feel like you're sort of steamrolling over me when we talk. I think I'm still a little intimidated by you. I guess that sounds kind of stupid, though.
Suddenly, Teresa's voice is very small.
I remember all that. You do?
She nods, smiling grimly.
That's why I'm out here. You see, that doomed Teresa missed Vriska so much, it was like a hole in her heart. I remember the way she felt, because one time all her memories came flooding back. I even got to see what happened when she died. She and another Vriska ghost finally found each other. It made me so happy getting to feel that, as if that was one of my own memories. It just reinforced the feeling that there was something special between us. And I just kept hanging on to that belief right up until, I don't know. Now, I've practically devoted my life to certain moments, to the idea that two people can be meant to be with each other on some cosmic level, even if they always seem to get each other into trouble. All that investment, all that searching. And for what? Over a sweep together and she just disappears into the void again? What a huge bitch. Yeah, it's so good to finally get Teresa's perspective on the feeling of regaining all of those memories. Because we got that flash, right? And we got to see the moment that they all came flooding back. But never how she really felt about it. Damn. Verserezi is like a lot.
Terezi. His hand is on her shoulder again.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. My goodness. I usually get more advanced warning, but for some reason I'm just yawning all over the place today.
His hand is on her shoulder again, and his other hand has found the other shoulder. John notices his own palm grazing up the side of her neck to cup her face. The act was made with barely a thought, and his own boldness surprises himself.
You saved everyone. You're the only reason we were able to defeat Lord English and win the game at all. If it weren't for you, me and Roxy would have just floated around in paradox space like a couple of losers with no idea what to do. Even worse, I might have tried to fix things myself. Oh, dear God. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna have some water for a second. Yeah, a shorter stream today is also helpful because I spent a lot of time talking today. I did a lot of talking, much more than usual. Don't get me wrong. I'm not... Oh, wait a second. I didn't read the narrative.
Terezi shrugs it from under his grasp, but doesn't move away.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting the objective value of my other self's actions. I'm glad we didn't all die in a doomed timeline and that Lauren English finished eating all of space-time, but I don't feel it. It's not a rational emotion, John. It's like you. Me? Yeah, you. Why are you still out here with me? Because I'm not just going to leave you here to die? You've made very few overtures regarding the subject of going home. You're just letting me continue to pointlessly circle this fucking black hole, even though it's obvious that Vriska is dead. And you're just letting yourself be out here too, as we spiral down the load gaper together. Oh. I don't know? I hadn't thought about it, to be honest. Exactly. Earthsea is perfect, isn't it? But not for you. You don't feel it. Oh god, this conversation. I think this is one of the really, really top-notch conversations in the epilogues, where they talk about just their feelings about stuff. You know, and John just doesn't feel it. Damn it. Yeah, oof, ouch, my heart is fucking right. John's irrational. Yeah, Terzi is just like ripping into him, but she's fucking right.
John swallows a thick breath. He reminds himself that he never wanted perfection, never asked for it, and yet he feels guilty every day for failing to enjoy it as much as he believes he is supposed to.
You're right. I don't. If you've been depressed and antisocial these last few years, I bet that your friends miss you. Probably. But for some reason, I don't feel like I have anything to go home to. You're right. It's not a rational feeling, but it's there anyway. John, my boy. Also, like, it's not a rational feeling, but it sure is there anyway, is like a big mood. Like, that just fucking happens sometimes, and it really sucks.
A tear hits his knee, staining his pants dark. He rubs his eyes furiously. He's afraid Terzi will mock him for his childish display of emotion, but she just watches him, patient and sympathetic. She tips her head to one side and asks,
"What ended up happening with Roxy?" "I dunno. We just sort of stopped hanging out regularly. Then she got close with Callie, and I felt too awkward to try to figure out where their relationship stood." "Really? What?" "I just assumed that by now you two might have gotten together." "Really? Why?" "No reason. Just a hunch. I don't think it would have worked out, though." "What makes you say that?" Candy timeline. This is the Terzi that John has been talking to in the Candy fucking timeline. That's why she asked specifically about Roxy. The first time I read this, I was like, why specifically Roxy, though? Like, we know that John was thinking about it, like, in the prologue, but, I mean, why the fuck would Terzi care about that specifically? About Roxy specifically? But, it's because she's been in communication with the fucking Candy timeline. So she's curious about what happened in this timeline, is saying, don't think it would have worked out because the Candy timeline didn't work out. And then she gets all cagey about it. God, I love Terzi so much. Reading it with Candy context is good. It is. It's a very different experience reading it with the context of the other story. Because, like, I had the Meat context for Candy, right? Because I read Meat first. But you're glad you read Candy first, but also it hurts. I'm glad I didn't read Candy first because, like, honestly, I prefer the Meat side of things. And Candy, because Candy just has so many moments that, like, are just really, really uncomfortable and unpleasant to read. And like and not in the same way as Homestuck proper, but just in a way that's like, wow, I really don't want that. And even the moments that are like supposed to be funny uncomfortable, it's just too uncomfortable for me. Like Gamzee at Dirk's funeral. I know that was supposed to be funny, but I could only half laugh at most. It was so uncomfortable for me to read. Like, that would have really jaded me against like being hyper suspicious of the Meat timeline. So yeah, I'm glad I kind of experienced things the way that I did, because I don't know if I would have come into Meat with as rosy of a view if I'd read Candy first, because there are more things in Candy that didn't sit right with me than things in Meat.
She taps her nose and winks.
I don't know. That's what having a hunch fucking means, nerd. KG. Cheeky. It's really hard to read Meat knowing everything about Candy. I mean, yeah, it's definitely like a very different... I mean, like, right, I remember saying a while ago, literally on stream, like, I would like to ask them about that. I guess, like, yeah, like, how do you think that, like, reading Candy first affected your view of Meat and your reading of Meat, and how you connected with it, the attitudes that you held toward it? Like, yeah, I'm just, like, really curious, like, in what ways it affected... Yeah. Gonna stop myself before I repeat myself in circles, because I know I do that sometimes. Yeah. Oh, you had some other Meat spoilers. Dirk and Kelly's involvement in changing the story. Right. I'm just gonna have some water while you're typing. It's a good time for me to take a little break. Terzie and Vasca. Yeah. Yeah, I found that you have more feelings, but your brain did. Nah, that's still, yeah. Yeah, I found that between Meat and Candy, Candy filled more holes in Meat than Meat filled in for Candy. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of pieces of Candy that are continuations of Meat plots, more so than from Candy to Meat. Like, I would consider this conversation with Terzie where it's like, oh, that's why she's asking about Roxy and like that kind of thing, and this whole reunion to be better contextualized by reading their conversations in Candy first, because that's the linear timeline for Terzie. But then, you know, all of the stuff with like people being like coming through the black hole into the new universe, and like Vriska specifically, like that kind of stuff is very big. Like, reading Meat first makes that make a lot more sense. Yeah. Okay. Yes. I think that is my thoughts. That's my brain. A lot of surprises in Candy that you're just like, whoa. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of, like, I cannot even fucking imagine reading about the ghosts starting to fall from the sky and reading about Vriska coming through a black hole, and like, without the context of Meat, how much what the fuck how much what the fuck y'all would be feeling. I'm sure there's more moments like that. It's just you know, it's been a few weeks now since I first read Candy, and I power read it in roughly the span of one day. So there's probably more, but yeah, I mean, like, it's possible to kind of into it, yeah, for sure. But yeah, definitely feeling kind of like they come out of left field. Initially, I would imagine. But yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, I'm thinking we'll read this one and then maybe see what the next one is and just how long it is. But, might just do chapter 31 for today. Yeah, and then all of a sudden young Jade meteors right into the open field. Yeah. Yeah, then it is, right? I forgot about the specific conversation that Jade interrupted. Right? I remember being really mad about that. I was like, this is the candy route. Why aren't you letting them talk about the relationship stuff? They're getting to the good shit. Oh, right. No, that was Dave, Jade, and Carcat in the middle of their, like, relationship talk conversation. They were almost getting somewhere with it. And I was just like, no, not now. You go back through that black hole and come out at a more opportune time. You're impossible. True, but you like me anyway. They were finally going to acknowledge it. I know. Oh my god. It was so frustrating. Yeah. I actually missed you, you know. More than I thought I did.
John wonders, after he makes the statement, what if she just needed someone to tell her that she was missed? A bit late to consider the question, but he considers it anyway. Perhaps this will make her want to end this search and come home with him. He wonders if the time is right. The time to ask.
Terzi, come home with me.
She shakes her head. Her face is turned against the light, so he can't read her expression.
I'm not ready yet. When will you be ready? I don't know. Maybe never. If you hadn't found me, I probably would have died, right? Is that what I want? Obviously not, dummy. If you wanted to die so bad, you wouldn't have eaten all that disgusting shaving cream and tobacco.
He gestures to where she still has a smear of shaving cream on the hem of her shirt, crusted over from sitting there for hours. She sniffs at the residue and then licks her shirt to lick it off, crinkling her nose.
You could be onto something. At least let me make a supply run. Maybe I can get you some real food?
It seems to him like an uncontroversial compromise to offer, so he pulls back, preparing to travel back to Earthsea via his retcon capability. But Terzi grabs him by the wrist.
Wait!
Her eyes are wide, her voice cracked and desperate.
Don't go. Please, John, just stay with me just a little longer. If you leave me now, what if you can never find me again in this moment? Well, we can't stay here forever. I know.
He has no idea how to react to her behavior. He's never seen her this vulnerable. She's shaking she's shaking where she is touching him, and her lower lip is visibly trembling. He nods, and she slowly lets go of his arm. They are silent for a minute. They both stare ahead at the car seat in front of them, sitting close enough to hear the beat of each other's hearts.
Do you want me to take a look at your wound?
John had gotten so used to the pain he'd almost forgotten about it. He looks down at the place where his shirt has grown stiff from the congealed blood. Now that he dwells on it, he can feel the ache again, both from the tooth piercing his flesh and, more insidiously, from the poison it has been delivering into his bloodstream.
Oh, yeah, we should probably do something about that. I feel like if I was gonna die from it, I would have done that already. But it's really lodged in there, huh? I thought maybe it had just come out on its own, like when you get a splinter in your foot. You really are dumb, aren't you?
He rolls his eyes. Terezi produces her cane and unsheaths the blade in one fluid motion. The metal rasps against the grain of its sheath rather loudly.
I'm sorry, what? No, it doesn't.
The noise resounds through the sealed interior of the car.
Actually, drawing a sword is pretty quiet. It only makes that sound in the movies.
And rings through John's skull like a gunshot.
Are you seriously manifesting inaccurate physical properties of swords for the sole purpose of antagonism?
John reflexively backs up against the door at,
oh, fuck this,
the sight of the blade.
I know, this part is fucking hilarious. Calliope is definitely legitimately manifesting inaccurate physical properties of swords for the sole purpose of antagonizing Dirk, and I love it. Yes, shut the fuck up, sir. Thanks. Whoa! Okay, so then it gets into a bit of a gory description, if you are not keen on those. Oh, excuse me, my goodness. Lots of yawning today. Long day. Hold still if you don't want to die for real.
He holds still. Her eyebrows are knitted with fierce determination. She sets a hand on his thigh and draws the blade up under his shirt. He shivers, letting out a breathy laugh at the coolness from the metal against his bare chest. There is a pinch where the congealed bloody fabric rips from his skin. He glances down. The wound looks worse than he was imagining. It's far more than just a puncture. An uncanny darkness spreads out across his chest. The gash is scabbing at the edges, bruised all around. His entire torso appears to be a mottled mess of purple and yellow, like some sort of fancy earth cheese. Terezi's blade cuts into it as easily as if it were.
Ouch! Ow. Okay. Oh, fuck! Ow! Could have used some warning there, Terezi. What the hell did you think I was going to do with this sword, idiot?
She's close enough that her breath washes over his face. It smells like shaving cream and tobacco, which is jarring to him, if not surprising. She is without her glasses, and so close that John notices that he has things he hasn't had the occasion to before. Like how lovely her eyes are. The length of her eyelashes, now that he's really seeing them just inches from his face, is astounding to him.
Another eyelash description.
He has never thought of Terezi as particularly feminine, at least in the way humans understand this idea. But he has never been forced to reckon with her features so unavoidably. The dark borders around the perimeter of her eyes are thicker and darker than what most trolls have. The tired bags under them are ditches, and the shadows cast by her angular features, made more gaunt from hunger. When she blinks, her lashes brush the ridges of her cheekbones. Her nostrils are flared, assessing the scent of his blood.
Are we doing this or what? Ouch, but I love this description. I know, the prose is so fucking good.
He presses his eyes shut and nods. He feels numb, clammy, jittering down to his bones from a particular sensation, a feeling he seems to be denying to himself. As his own thoughts struggle to be honest with him, he cannot disguise the truth from me. What he is fighting is an intense desire to kiss her.
That's a lot to be feeling when she's standing over you with a sword. Interesting. Go for it.
She grinds the sword between two of his ribs. The pain returns instantly, his acclamation erased nearly as quickly. He clenches his jaw hard and his head spins. Terzi's blade catches against something.
It's lodged in there pretty good. Brace yourself, Egbert. This is going to sting. John has a type. Yeah. Oh, God.
He can feel the tooth moving around against his flesh, the fibrous, spasmodic contractions of his muscles around it. When she wrenches the blade and pops the tooth out, he isn't proud of the sound he makes.
Well, holy shit, that sounds fucking painful. No wonder he'd fucking make some ungodly noise. Ugh.
He finally opens his eyes. Teresa's arms are covered in his blood. She tosses the sword down to the floor of the car in what suddenly strikes John as a fairly unhygienic surgical situation, and grabs his shirt with two clenched red fists.
Excuse me, I don't know how I can be yawning so much. This chapter is amazing. I mean, if not like making me clench my jaw a little bit, because these descriptions are like very descriptive.
I need to stop the bleeding. I need to stop the bleeding. Just follow my lead. She peels him out of his hoodie and then his shredded t-shirt. He's dizzy. His vision wavers and fades. It takes Teresa's sudden grip on his shoulders to bring him back from the brink. The brink of what, he doesn't know. Unconsciousness, canonic dissolution. He has no cognizance of what the poison in his veins does to someone, or that it's even in his system. All he knows is that Teresa is the only thing keeping him moored. She holds him firm, her thumb in the dip of his clavicle, her sharp nails etching scores into his back.
Yet another description of mooring and unmooring. It's also past 1 and it's been a long day. I mean, yeah, absolutely. But like, oh. Very intense chapter. Okay, almost at the bottom.
He watches her tear his t-shirt into a long strip. He lifts his arms obediently as she wraps it around his chest and ties it off. Her hands slide over the bandage and linger there. Her fingers splay on his collarbones, her right hand resting above his heart. She slides her palms down his stomach, then around to his hips, leaving long bloody streaks along his torso. His blood, 10 uneven tracks of it, one for each of her fingers.
See, here's my qualm with the bandages, okay? How is wrapping one t-shirt around his torso going to stop the bleeding of a pretty big puncture wound? Like, that just doesn't seem right to me. Medically speaking, that doesn't seem like that would work. You know what I mean? It's just like, hold it in. Yeah, I suppose. And I mean, I may have been, like, in my initial reading, like, picturing in my head something a lot more dramatic and like large than it actually is, because when I was reading it over again, I was like, also for the tenderness, I know. When I was reading it back, I was like, they're like, oh, it's right, it's jammed between two of his ribs, so it can't actually be that big if it's jammed between them, but it hasn't, like, it's not big enough to break them. Because Lord English, I'm picturing ginormous fucking skull monster. So I was picturing like a tooth, you know, the base of the tooth being like the size of half his chest and the tip of it being like fucking massive. But if it's just jammed between two of his ribs, it can't be that big, and it can't be quite that deep of a puncture wound. If, oh my god, I'm logicking it out with myself right as we speak, it can't be that deep of a puncture wound if it didn't puncture his lungs. Like the size of your fist. Yeah. Like that makes sense. Yeah, I'm holding my fist up to my ribcage right now. That makes sense. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. That just like was really jarring for me the first time through. He'd be spitting up blood. Yeah, he'd be like coughing up blood and probably would have actually died from the wound itself if it punctured his lungs. Or lung, singular. But yeah.
When his arms come down, they wrap around her shoulders. Pulling her into his lap feels natural to him. A simple redirection of her momentum to guide her closer. What comes less naturally is the first kiss. Her lips are there, hovering just over his, yet he hesitates. His mind is lying to itself, casting doubt on what it really wants. I don't see a purpose in allowing his self-deceit to continue for much longer. It's wrong to contradict one's true thoughts and feelings. Irrational. Unbecoming of an existence governed by free will. What are you waiting for, John?
See, this is the other thing that, like, really threw me off, was like, how the fuck is he not in such excruciating pain that he can't fucking try and pull moves? Like, I do not understand how this, like, and especially what follows. Like, I'm gonna be straight up, they fuck. Like, and how is he not in so much pain? How is he not in too much pain to, like, do that? God, like, that's just, like, fucking story logic or whatever. Like, oh yeah, he just had a mortal wound, but it's fine, he can fuck. Like, God. Kelly, fix your writing. For fuck's sake, John, don't say anything stupid right now.
He nods stupidly.
Oh, Calliope. He feels pain, that's why he's trying to fuck. I mean, I suppose that is a logic to follow, yes. Every bodice ripper Callie is pulling straight from Carcad's books.
He nods stupidly and leans forward to kiss her. Terzi attacks, closing the gap between them swiftly. She bites into his mouth, drawing blood when she sucks his lower lip. He twists his hands in the fabric of her shirt so hard it rides up her back. John can't tell if it's the pain or the arousal that's emboldening him. It is neither. He is simply being barred from ignoring his true thoughts. Even without the aid of a juju, he is fortunate enough to be blessed with the one true form of divinity, to be released from the prison of nonsensical inhibitions which so often psychologically hobble the more primitive forms of life. In his newfound clarity, he discovers bravery, pulls Terzi's shirt off all the way, and does what he really wants to do, which is ghost his hands all the way up the curve of her spine. She sighs into his mouth.
Yeah, so Callie's messing with his head. So it's like, it's his true feelings, but like she's messing with his head, and it's just kind of like, okay. Oh my god, your blood smells delicious. Whoa. Wow. Okay. I think you're really pretty in the light of the dead universe?
Terzi rears back with a faint snarl and wraps both her hands around his neck. She doesn't press down, but the weight of her thumbs above his throat makes his heart race.
Didn't I tell you? Don't say anything stupid.
Careful of her grip around his neck, John locks his arms around her waist and pulls her flesh against him. She's ravenous when their mouths collide, her desire intensified by the taste and scent of his blood. She doesn't give him a chance to say anything else for a while, stupid or otherwise.
and then they fuck. Oh, this is a long-ass chapter. Oh, this is the one where Roxy calls Dave. Oh my god, I love this one so much. Okay. I'm gonna leave this one to do it the justice that it deserves tomorrow evening. It's very long. One chapter for today. Kinda... Okay, I apologize for my lateness again. But, just not a string of A's, just a single uppercase A. Yes. Whew. So that's, sorry folks, that's kind of all for today. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go to bed pretty soon. Like, I'm fucking tired. I have been in a bit of a vegetative state since school let out, not gonna lie. So this long day with lots of walking and talking, I am fucking tired. I am very tired. So, tomorrow evening, chapter 32. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Alright. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out, even though it was a little bit of a late start. Your first day out with friends in school ended too. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I'm hoping to see Detective Pikachu with a few friends sometime in the next week or so. So that's exciting. Yeah, Sunday night, there will be stream. No bonus stream next week, but regular Saturday, Sunday stream schedule for the following weekend. So that's what's up with streams for the next few weeks. Please go see a very good movie. Nice. I will do that for sure. Yeah. Right. And that's that. Fingers crossed, I will be seeing you all right back here tomorrow for chapter 32. Blessed chapter 32. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you may be getting up to. That is good night from my end, and I'm just gonna veto the end music for today. We'll continue with our album tomorrow. Good night.